Welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, and once again, thank you for your patience. We are here today to begin celebrating and discussions around the ecosystem here in Africa. And we're here for the annual gathering for AfriLabs hosted by Sahara Sparks. We'd like to ask you to turn your attention to the screens for a couple of videos that will help to put into context what it is that we are doing here today.
Well, you heard the man himself. Sahara Sparks isn't just a place to come in and act serious all the time. Have fun, enjoy. A big round of applause to what you just saw right now. So for the new ones, I'm seeing some old faces. I'm happy to see some familiar faces and some new faces as well. It's a big technology and innovation event happening right now in Dar es Salaam, the biggest in Africa. When was the last time you saw such an event? Two great bodies coming together to form such a great thing. Talking about AfriLab and Sahara Sparks 2018. And this year we're talking about innovation in the data age. Imagine the phone that you're holding right now, the kind of messages and the phone calls that you're sending or calling all the time. That is data being sent, transcended, and transferred to and from the next person. Now, without any further ado, I would like to call upon the MD and the CEO of Sahara Venture, the man who made sure this event is happening in collaboration or with partners, in partnership with AfriLab, Mr. Jumanne Mtambalike. Welcome.
So, without wasting time, Honorable Deputy Minister, His Excellency Ambassador Hassan Atli, Switzerland Ambassador to East Africa and Zambia, His Excellency Ambassador Heina Jensen, Ambassador of the Loyal Danish Embassy, Tanzania, Honorable Tommy Davis, President of the Africa Business Angel Network, Honorable Rebecca Henchon, Board Chair of AfriLabs Network, government representative, leaders of the private sector, and our esteemed guests, protocol observed, welcome. I'm honored and humbled to host you on our event, Innovation in the Data Age, which is co-organized by Sahara Sparks and AfriLabs. Again, the event is the Innovation in the Data Age, which is co-organized by Sahara Sparks and AfriLabs. Sahara Sparks is currently the largest innovation and technology entrepreneurship event in Africa. Since we started in 2016, we have worked with more than 400 early-stage entrepreneurs and startup companies. We have hosted more than 3,000 event attendees, and we are working with more than 8 investment agencies now, from one we had in 2016. Sahara Sparks 2018 has proven to be a success. This year we introduced a concept known as the City Sparks, and we did it in 4 different African countries. We did it in Nigeria, we did it in Kenya, we did it in Uganda, and we did it in Malawi. Woo! In a very special way, I would like to appreciate the support we received from the following innovation hubs: Twig Co-working Space in Kenya, Persian Incubator in Nigeria, the Innovation Village in Uganda, M-Hub Malawi, Ubuntu Hub Arusha, Urisi Space Tanga, Kyoto Innovation Hub in Iringa, and SmartFit in Mwanza. So getting back to the agenda, today we have more than 442 active tech hubs across the African continent. These hubs play a very crucial role in supporting youth and driving innovation in the continent. They work so hard on nurturing entrepreneurial culture and build the skills for our young people. These hubs provide opportunity These hubs provide opportunities for us to address our most pressing issues in the continent. And the best way they do it is by building a business around them. In 2017, African tech startups raised funding in excess of $195 million US, and this is up 51% compared to the amount they raised in 2016. The Africa startup economy is no longer a myth. It's real and it's happening. And the question is, what are we doing about it? The data economy is also real. The world today creates 2.5 quintillion bytes of data. These data are what people use to drive the world economy. Every strategic decision being made is based on facts and data. And yes, data is a new oil, but for most African, data is still a crude oil. How are we using data to solve our most chaotic problems? 2.5 quintillion bytes of data, whatever that means, it doesn't mean anything to an average African unless it puts fufu or ugali on their table. How can we make data matter to people living at the bottom of the pyramid in Africa? Is this the right time? The strategic answer is yes. The political one is too early. We have other priorities. Fact, by 2025, the population of Africa will exceed that of India and China. And shortly after, about 40% of the world working age population will be in Africa. The question is, are we prepared? Are we prepared to create 18 million new jobs annually? Because that is what the continents need to fill the unemployment gap. Our city is another important issue to reflect on. A case of Dar es Salaam. Dar es Salaam is Africa's fastest growing urban center. Its total population is expected to reach 21.4 million people by 2052. As leaders, the question that worries me a lot is, how are we going to feed all these people? How are we going to ensure they have quality healthcare services, quality education, etc.? Can technology play a role in this area? Can innovation make Africa exponential growth of urban population a blessing and not a curse? But I also know if technology is not carefully implemented, new technologies can amplify inequalities. Inequality of the haves and the have-nots, male and female, educated and illiterate, and so on. How do we ensure the growth of technology doesn't leave anyone behind? How do we ensure even the lowest part of our communities are digitally and financially included? Is artificial intelligence the answer? What about additive manufacturing? Some people are talking about fourth industrial revolution. To be honest, I'm not even sure. And that's why we are having these conversations. But having conversations and discussion is not enough. We need to discuss and act without forgetting technology is just a tool. It has never been a solution. You need to work on so many other things to get technology to work. There should be political willingness and commitment to do so. I'm still puzzled. How can we innovate in this data age without leaving anyone behind and create sustainable, feasible, viable, and desirable solutions for our people? I would like to close my speech by quoting the late father of our nation, Julius Kambarage Nyerere. The nations of the South must pay utmost attention to the development of science and technology. While others are working, we have to be running. He says this 20 years ago. 20 years ago. Are we actually running? That's the question that we want to discuss today. Thank you so much. That being said, I would like to welcome Afrila Board Chair, Madam Rebecca Enchong, on stage. Thank you.